Bonjour. Welcome to the magical journey of Anastasia. Hi, I'm Aliyah, one of the musical voices from the movie soundtrack. We're here in Paris, a city known for its great beauty and its grand history. Much of the movie takes place right here, and tonight you'll discover the magic behind the movie as we celebrate the first animated feature from 20th Century Fox, Anastasia. An architectural tribute to the alliance between France and Russia. It's these two countries that serve as the setting for Anastasia, a story that is one of the great mysteries of the 20th century.
I will not rest until I see the end of the Romanov line forever!
The story of the Romanovs is not typical, so it's amazing that they made it into something as magical as it is.
The story of Anastasia is almost a myth at this point. I mean, no one knows whether the girl was lost with her family or not during the revolution of 1918.
Grandma! Here! Hold on to my hand! Don't let go! Anastasia!
She doesn't know what's happened to her parents. This 8-year-old girl ends up with amnesia and is raised in an orphanage.
How is it you don't have a clue to who you were before you came to us?
I do have a clue to...
I know. Together in Paris. So, you want to go to France to find your family, huh?
As you get to know this little princess, you find out what's going on in her head and in her heart.
Somewhere down this road, I know someone's waiting. Years of dreams just can't be wrong. Arms will open wide, I'll be safe and wanted. Finally home where I belong.
She's finding out a lot of things about herself, not just about who her family is, but really who she is to herself.
This journey to the past.
Family has been looking for her, so I'm trying to sort of hustle and get someone to play the part of Anastasia so I can collect the reward money.
Next, please.
Grandma, it's me, Anastasia.
And I end up inadvertently meeting the real Anastasia, but I don't know it.
Hey! Hold on!
Do you see what I see?
You think that I am Anastasia?
I've got 3 tickets here. Unfortunately, the third one is for her, Anastasia.
Oh.
Imagine how it was, your long-forgotten past. We've lots and lots to teach you, and the time is going fast.
All right, I'm ready.
If I can learn to do it, you can learn to do it.
Something in your nose.
There's nothing to it. Follow in my footsteps, shoe by shoe. You can learn to do it too.
Rasputin is such a colorful figure.
I want to look my best.
Whoa, that fell right out there, sir.
He's dead, but he's still not dead. He lives somewhere in limbo.
Anastasia, alive?
Ain't that the kick in the head? I guess a curse just ain't what it used to be, huh, sir?
And sneaks himself back from limbo. He's gonna get Anastasia.
But you're dead! You're falling apart, sir. How do you expect to get to Paris in one piece?
I thought we'd take the train.
They're off on this terrible, revengeful, evil, awful, disastrous adventure.
You're on your own, sir. This can only end in tears.
I'm not afraid of you.
Dimitri!
Hold on!
Here in Paris, Anastasia makes some amazing discoveries about her past. And along the way, she meets some pretty interesting characters. Let's take a look.
What I liked about her in the script was that she was kind of sassy and fiery and an independent spirit, and she took a great risk.
My name is Anya. I need travel papers. They say you're the man to see, even though I can't tell you who sent them.
And what are you circling me? What were you, a vulture in another life?
I'm playing Dmitri, who is trying to capitalize on the fact that the Princess Anastasia has been missing.
Look, I know it's strange, but I don't remember. I have very few memories of my past.
That's perfect.
They grumble and they argue and they, play a lot, although there's an unspoken attraction there.
They have a kind of romantic comedy banter, a rhythm of talking that I like, and I've never really seen in an animated movie before. Do you really think I'm royalty?
You know I do.
Then stop bossing me around.
I don't think there's a better person we could have cast than Angela Lansbury.
I have seen enough Grand Duchess Anastasias to last me a lifetime.
You'd better go.
The Grand Duchess Marie is a very pivotal character in the story, in that she was the mother of Nicholas, and she moved to Paris. I won't be badgered by you a moment longer.
Do you recognize this? I know you've been hurt, but it's just possible that she's been as lost and alone as you.
Sophie is the grandmother's lady-in-waiting. She's also her cousin. Vladimir Vanyavanitsky Vasilovich. Well, this is unexpected.
Well, Kelsey zoned right in on what his character was about.
To me, he's like the heart of the piece. He's really a crossover between a man who has to survive in the new Russia and a man who really is the old Russia, who has the passion and the love. You see, my dear,
I was a member of the Imperial Court.
Christopher Lloyd, so well known and loved, I think, by the whole movie audience because he's played villains,
I'd give her a ha!
Oh, I have something else in mind. Something more enticing. Something really cruel.
Rasputin needs to walk the line between being truly a villain, yet carry a large part of the comic elements of the movie.
I'm a rat!
Actually, considering how long you've been dead, you look pretty good. Sir, you do. Sir, is this the face of a bat who would lie to you?
Bartok's little white bat. He's the evil Rasputin's little sidekick there.
Wow.
I think he basically cares very much for Rasputin. That's why he's following along on all these evil little hijinks.
Miserable rodent.
Oh, sure, blame the bat. What the heck, we're easy targets.
Once the voices come to the microphone and we begin to actually hear the words come off the page, it lifts a quantum leap. Probably the most exciting moment of all, and that was the day that Meg Ryan came into the studio and began to read the lines of Anastasia.
I see a skinny little nobody with no past and no future. I was surprised to learn that we would do the recording first and they would animate later. I don't know why I thought so much of it would be done to picture.
In the middle of the song, there's this great little moment, where you tell Vlad what you've done and you've got...
Don Bluth would just say, well, this is what's happening in the movie, and in your mind's eye, you try to kind of picture this train sequence. Well, this is our stop!
It's real fun working with Meg and listening to Angela Lansbury work.
My heart can't take it anymore. I will see no more. No, it's no good. I'm talking to myself now. I'm just giving you something interesting. A little glitch.
There's a consciousness to go a little bit broader, to make it a little bit more exaggerated, because it seems like the medium can sustain that.
I think the saber dancer's late.
You still have to come from your own truth, and then hopefully your voice will reflect that.
Glad, how could you do this? How will we get through? I never should have met
The truth of the matter comes down to what you believe in here, and then the voice reflects it. I believe that.
We had originally conceived of a bat that was a nervous creature, tiny, high-strung, always afraid that someone might step on him.
Sir, the last thing in the world that I want to be is a nag. But
And he began to talk in this funny little voice.
Well, now stop that!
The big thing with animation like this is you want to give a lot of choices to the directors.
I could kiss you, sir, if you weren't so disgusting and awful with the smells. Oh, I could kiss you, sir, if you were one notch better in the smell department.
He can come up with 3,000 different ways to read the same line.
And then you start with the arms like wah, and then you get really crazy with the hips.
One is surrounded with a wonderful group of people who are so thrilled with what they're doing and love what they're doing so much that you get caught up with it.
The magical journey of Anastasia will return in a moment. Behind me is the Louvre, a place that holds some of the world's greatest works of art. For Anastasia, directors Don Bluth and Gary Goldman assembled the most talented artists from around the world. And it all took place at the 20th Century Fox Animation Studio in Phoenix, Arizona.
The process is you do the voice and they animate to the voice.
Take one.
Our film has gone to the extent of every single scene that has a human character acting in it, we've shot live-action reference for the animators.
Roll camera.
The people who are doing the live-action work would watch my body language and hear my voice to try to sort of move in the way the character, the way I sort of move.
Yeah, I know. All men are babies.
What I try to do is take his acting
No.
and do a caricature of it. So when he's talking, it's like we'll get like the little head shakes and the little expression.
Now, how did you get in here?
My responsibilities basically are doing the in-between drawings. As I flip this, you'll see that Dimitri is not only raising his left hand, but he's also turning his head towards the audience. So my job would be to smoothen that movement out by adding an in-between. So what I've done is I've plotted the arcs of that hand, and I'll go in now and just real roughly sketch where I think the hand should go. And once I get the framework and basic construction done, I would later go in and anchor it down with some details.
Frequently what'll happen is we'll start off with doing a rough design. We'll do some small thumbnail sketches, and then that'll evolve. Then finally we'll come up with a design that we like, and then it's time to start laying it out.
I spent a week in St. Petersburg, and I shot about 3,500 stills and 10 reels of video.
We used the pictures he did to come up with this layout here. Basically, the layout is the staging for which the characters are going to act on.
They provide us a color sketch or thumbnail from Don's storyboards. We have Rasputin's hand and Bartok, and they slam me against what is an ice column made out of skulls. A background like this would probably take maybe a day. We have backgrounds in here that can take up to 2-3 weeks.
The computer is a pencil. It's a different kind of pencil. Instead of the artist with a pencil in his hand, it's the artist who is working on the keyboard.
I fought it for a while. I clung to my cells, and I kept wanting to see the paint and feel the paper.
We might be doing an entire three-dimensional environment or background in which you can actually move an imaginary camera and have this simulated background moving and changing in perspective.
Anybody home?
That's amazing what you can do to a scene we could never do before. We can take and animate maybe 12 characters and turn it into 900 characters. That would be something that would take months before.
It's the Princess Anastasia who will help us fly.
Before we had 600 colors, we now have the potential for 16 million colors on the computer.
Traditionally, everything had to be painted onto cell. That's very time consuming because you'd have to paint, let the paint dry, then wait to see if you like the way the color looked. Whereas a good cell painter could paint maybe 10 cells in a day. We can do about 10 in an hour. I'll show you what we do. I like to paint off of what's called a reference image, and it's just a small box that shows one frame already painted, and I can basically click on the part that I want to fill and just drop in the color.
The animated film is very much like a jigsaw puzzle, which when it first arrives on your table is just bare sketch lines. But when you actually complete at the end of 2 years, it ends up to be this oil painting.
The miracle of the whole thing is they're all drawings, and the magic of it is if we all do our job right, those drawings are going to tell a story, and they're going to be real people.
It's incredible what they can do now.
I never knew how much work there was to one of these. It's pretty fascinating.
This is the Grand Opera House, world-renowned for its fine music. As one of the voices on the soundtrack, it was a privilege to be a part of the songs of Anastasia. Original songs written by Stephen Flaherty and Lynn Ahrens, a score by composer David Newman, and a hit soundtrack all help to tell this truly magical story. Let's take a look now at the music of Anastasia.
Working in the world of animation, you basically can do whatever your imagination tells you to. Rasputin's lair, seeing these outlandish creatures, thousands and thousands of these evil minions from below. You can be as wild as you want to be.
Then we're going to do Black Marketeer Hubbub. So doing the voices has been really, really satisfying, particularly for me in making the speaking voice of Meg Ryan flow seamlessly into the singing voice of Liz Calloway.
Once upon a December.
The speaking voice of John Cusack flows seamlessly into the voice of Jonathan Dokuchitz.
Yes, princess, I found you at last. No more pretend you'll be gone. That's the end.
I think if I start to sing, I think, people will start getting up and hailing cabs. So I don't think, gratefully, I'll be doing very little singing.
I think the surprise of working with the actors was Kelsey Grammer. He has an incredibly resonant voice. He's a classically trained actor, a great singer. We wrote the most difficult piece of material, I think, in the film for that character, which is the song Learn to Do It.
If you can learn to do it, I can learn to do it.
Don't know how you knew it.
I simply knew.
It seemed to me that if I was going to be in this thing and someone was going to sing, I should sing it, because then it would be more likely to come out of my character.
I can learn to do it. You can learn to do it.
Together.
And you'll go through it.
Tell yourself it's easy. You can learn to do it too.
There's a number that Bernadette Peters sings called Perry Holds the Key to Your Heart. So it's a little Charleston number from the 20s.
Perry holds the key to your heart. And old Perry plays a part.
You stroll to by two.
And what we call love.
That was fun because all the people were there. And you're singing in a mic and also trying to picture what the character might be doing at that moment.
L'amour. And not even Freud knows the cure.
And reading the music and not knowing the song. But it was fun. There was all that energy is in it.
Right from the first reading, this melody came to me, which became one of the high points, I think, in the film, a song called Once Upon a December.
Someone holds me safe and warm. Horses prance through a silver storm. Figures dancing gracefully across my memory.
People sing when they're too emotional to talk anymore. So when a character is at his or her angriest or most passionate or saddest or loneliest or most determined, that's when you put a song in.
Once upon a December.
Hey! We'll be back with more of the magical journey of Anastasia. For all of us involved in making Anastasia, the journey was a truly magical experience. You begin with an idea, a sketch, and a song. 3 years later, you marvel as you watch a creation beyond your wildest dreams unfold.
We are using animation as a means to tell very real stories now.
The biggest con in history.
I think all films, whether it's a cartoon film or with the stick figures, they have to be responsible in terms of the story they tell. And I think this film is going to be responsible. It's going to be fun.
It will become, I think, kind of a classic fairy tale.
I think they can expect a gorgeous, beautifully told classic story about what home means.
One step at a time, one hope then another.
It's a very romantic story. The music is wonderful, and it's drawn beautifully.
Whether you're a little child or whether you're an adult, you can look into the characters and you can see yourself in them.
I have nieces and nephews, and it's fun to entertain them, and now you get a chance to entertain a massive amount of kids instead of just a few over at the house on the weekend.
I just thought it would be fun to do one of these things, and I have friends who have kids, and Anastasia's a great story.
My little boy's starting school, and the other day I looked at his classroom of little girls, and you know, I was really kind of excited because I thought that they might see this movie and really get a big kick out of it.
Thank you for joining us for the magical journey of Anastasia. Watch for Anastasia in a theater near you. And now I leave you with my version of Journey to the Past from the Anastasia soundtrack.
Heart, don't fail me now. Courage, don't desert me. Don't turn back now that we're here. People always say life is full of choices. No one ever mentions fear.